Well, I think he's, the work that he's put in, I think he does a great job of leaning on his other teammates. I think you look at what a great job he's doing leading, but it's also a reflection of the other 10 guys around him doing an excellent job. And his preparation, his consistency, his ability, all those things are in alignment. But I think what you're going to see is anytime you have a conscientious player that works at it, has the right rhythm and routine and the process that kind of enables you to have that consistent improvement and have those high standards, I think you're going to see that from Matthew and a lot of our other players. And that's what we want to see from our team as well. Unbelievable playmaker, seeing the field really well. You talk about being able to make plays on schedule, off schedule, being able to create with his legs, being able to extend plays with his legs, but then be able to deliver the football down the field. He's making as many plays as anybody, and he's outstanding, and he's a problem. Well, they got great rushers. You look at, Chandler Jones, what he did in week 1 is as good as any performance that you'll see ever in the history of this league. One of the more impressive ones. J.J. Watt's, track record is well documented, but they've got a lot of different things. They can activate other non-known rushers as blitzers. Coach Joseph does a great job mixing it up. And so, it's the mixture of being able to hit home with a 4-man rush, sending 5, being able to send more than that, and the variety of different things that they keep you kind of on your heels is what's such a problem. They're an aggressive outfit, kind of similar to last week. There's obviously some differences in terms of what they're doing schematically, but a similar approach where they're aggressive and they're coming after you. I think he's going to. I feel good about it. We're going to be a little bit more modified in our approach this afternoon, Jordan, but he had a good look in his eye. He took part in the walkthrough just now, and so I think the expectation, the anticipation is that he'll play, but not 100% sure on that.
John, when you look back at the film and knowing how well Cooper started in the first 2 games, conventional wisdom might say, okay, they're going to take him away. Why was he still able to have such a good game?
Well, I think we've got other players that you've got to defend too. I think Cooper's done an outstanding job maximizing his opportunities, but when you've got Robert Woods, you've got Van, you've got Deshaun, Tyler Higbee, Johnny Munt's more than capable to make his plays as well, and then our backs are capable receivers. And so I think you want to always make all 5 eligibles come to life, and the versatility of where he's at and where you can place him. And he's just a great football player, and he's played really well. He's done an excellent job maximizing those chances that he's gotten, and it's kind of on a week-to-week thing, but I think Matthew's also doing a great job of getting the ball where the coverage dictates.
Sean, has Stafford done anything better than you anticipated, or something that in all your evaluation of him before he got here that has surprised you?
I think when you watch all the film and you come away really impressed, I think there's nothing like, you can't ever really simulate those game day atmospheres like we've talked about. I think the poise, his ability to recognize things in the midst of the games is something that's really stood out to me. And I continue to say it like a broken record, but he's just so steady, because there'll be a couple plays in the beginning of that game that I think he expects to be able to make, but he's unfazed by it. And I think that's a reflection of a great player. And you show me anybody that's great at what they do, I'll show you somebody that's mentally tough. And he's definitely demonstrated that in small parts through these first 3 games, in particular the Indianapolis game, and I thought last week with the way that we had started. But I think you're just really, you're really pleased. You're enjoying doing it with him. But I'm not necessarily surprised because you did have such good expectations, but you don't take it for granted and you don't minimize how difficult that position that he's playing really is. I think it's as hard a job as there is in sports, and he's done a really good job for our team so far.
Sean, you guys are doing a lot of different things and presenting a lot of different looks pre-snap, but I'm curious about the increased frequency of empty sets, and his statistics out of that formation are leading the league right now. What does an empty set do, first of all, on behalf of the offense, and then what problems does it present to a defense?
Yeah, I think, it just expands the field in a lot of instances based on some of the empty formations that we're presenting, and you got to really defend all 5 eligibles immediately. There's some negatives to it too now offensively, but it's worked out in our favor, and I think for these first 3 games, it's presented itself as something that we felt like could give us some favorable looks, and Matthew's done a great job of getting us in and out of some of the right plays and things that we wanted to do there. But each week kind of presents a different narrative, and if we want to be able to utilize that part of our offense or not, but through 3 weeks, he's done a good job with that.
Do you and Coach Kingsbury, do you guys spend much time in the offseason kind of talking shop or talking offense at all?
You know what? We're friends. I have tremendous respect for Cliff. I've gotten to know him through a mutual friend, like we've talked about in years past, Lindsey. But he'll come out to LA pretty frequently. The COVID thing has obviously been a little bit different these last couple of years, but we keep in touch. We'll talk a little bit of ball here and there, but there's always that you kind of always have your guard up, similar to even with Kyle and some of my friends on the Niners coaching staff, and now with Shane in Seattle. So the fact that you see somebody twice a year, you're always a little bit more guarded. But we'll talk a little bit of ball, but I don't think anything that's going to give any good secrets away to one another.
Couple more, guys. When you scheme, Sean, how much, like from a percentage standpoint, how much is attacking what you want to attack to them versus looking within and switching up tendencies?
Yeah, it's a good balance. I think it's, to say it's truly 50-50 is hard to say, but they're both very important factors. I think that's really an important thing. And also, I think especially last week with me kind of missing the early parts of it, what a great job our offensive coaching staff has done. Putting together great game plans, being able to put our players in the right spots, led by Kevin O'Connell and the rest of our coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball. Couldn't be more pleased and impressed with the job that they've done through these first few weeks. And they've been responsible for putting together some really good plans for our guys, and then our players have ultimately made it come to life.
The offensive line did have a pretty solid game against Stafford from start to finish. What's impressing you about them, and what do you see that areas they can improve?
Yeah, I think it's just the way that they're playing completely as a unit, Greg, in both phases. I think they're protecting really well. They're doing an excellent job, seeing things as one, playing as one, having that communication, all five on the same page. And if the back's involved, I think their rapport with Stafford has definitely been, illustrated in these first 3 weeks. And then I think we've been physical at the point of attack in the run game. So I think what you're seeing is you're seeing a unit that's playing really well in both phases. They're when we run the football, they're doing an excellent job. When we're protecting, they're doing a good job in some of our screen games as well. I mean, you look at the block that Rob Havenstein had on Tyler Higbee's first touchdown. He's getting two people. You look at just the overall effort, even when we put the ball on the ground, there's Corbett and there's Whitworth right there ready to recover, which that's potentially a game-changing type of play with when that occurred. And so love the job that those guys have done. I think those leaders on the edges have been outstanding with Whitworth and Havenstein. Really been pleased with the progression you've seen from Corbett and from David Edwards. I mean, he's doing a great job really throwing hands in protection. And then Brian Allen stabilizing the middle of the group as it's been a fun group to work with. Like I said, Kevin Carberry's been great, as has Nick Jones and Zach Cromer. So there's a lot of good things and another great challenge like there is every week, it seems like.
Hey, Sean, I know you just talk about a little bit of the Cardinals defense, but they have very good cornerbacks. I know you cannot tell us your plan, but what's sort of best plan approach?
Yeah, it's tough. You look at, Byron Murphy did a great job last week. He's a guy that's gotten better and better. I mean, you look at from his rookie year to where he's at now, he's got great versatility where he can play outside, he can play inside. Alford's a guy that's done a nice job, and Wilson, so they've got really good corners. Budda Baker is, one of the better players in this league that I think has made his presence felt over the last couple years with the physicality, the presence, the ability to get the ball back. And so they've got great players on the back end. It's going to be a great challenge for us. Okay, thanks, guys.